Hi, everybody. Welcome to the All Things Spiritual Community Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ortega, and I'm super excited because today I have Sabine Mann with us. And do you go by Dr. Sabine Mann?
No.
And,
Unless I'm driving Persephone, my TARDIS, then I am the doctor. But other than
nice.
that, no.
Well, so I'm super excited to have Sabina here with us. She's one of our premier members, and she does a lot of things. And so I'm going to let her tell you all the things that she does. So, Sabina, can you just introduce yourself a little bit, share a little bit about what you do? That would be great.
Hey guys, so Sabina, man, oh man, gotta make fun of that. But so I do actually I do three main things, but they all happen to work together. So my business is actually matters of perspective because it's all a matter of perspective and depends on how you look at it. And I believe, with changing lives one perspective at a time. So, and it's really just a mindset thing. It's like helping people get past their limiting beliefs. And it's like, hey, it's not all doom and gloom. It's just like, look at it from this way. And that's real, essentially, in a nutshell, that's what I do. I mean, there's more to it, but, and one of the things I do, which I absolutely love, and I can do this every day, all day, is QHHT, the quantum healing hypnosis. And I was trained from Dolores Cannon, and I just love that. That makes my heart sing. But anyway, the other thing I do is, and Rachel was just my guest on. I have a podcast called Home of Misfits. We also have the community on Facebook. We have the open living room, which is more relaxed, and then we have the private group, where people can share little deeper things that's going on with them if they want to. Um, and that just recently, I mean, it started under the business, but I recently moved it over under the my foundation. I have a nonprofit. It's the Happiness Matters Foundation, and the gist of it really is, and with the business and the Home of Misfits and everything, is like I'm helping people remember who they are. We're bringing that hope back. And my philosophy is, as long as you draw a breath, you have a spark of hope in there. And with everything I do, whether it's the business, the podcast, the nonprofit, I just want to fan that little spark and turn it into a raging flame, raging fire. So you can go out in the world and you can help somebody else ignite their little spark of hope. So, and I write some books and having fun. Anyway.
Yes, you have written a few books. How many books have you done so far?
I don't know. I think after 10, I stopped counting.
Wow, I didn't realize you wrote so many books.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm
I've
actually
seen some
working
of
on,
them.
the Tismism right here behind me, I think it's over here, is actually the first of 10 in the series. And it started because it's like, you know, being diagnosed with ADHD, and it's like, yeah, there's some tism in there too. It's like, oh, that explains a few things. And it made me realize it's like it's like, that's why I call it the Tismism. And the first book is You're Different Isn't Broken. Same world, different operating system. It's like, we just run with different operating systems. But the
Yes.
series is actually going to explore several different aspects of life. So I'm planning on doing 10 altogether. So the first one's out. And then I'm working on another one called The Great Escape. And I'll be introducing some characters. I'm so excited. Anyway.
Nice. I'm excited. Okay, so I want to ask you too. So I love the work you do, and
Thank you.
we've been friends online for a while on social media, but it's just been the last few months that I've actually got to meet you and got to know you, and you came to our class, so I got to know you a lot better, and
A
I'm just really
whole lot better.
and I'm really fascinated by the work you do. So what? But I want to. So I've experienced like who you are today and what you do. But what I want to know is how did you get here? Like what inspired you to pick to get to where you're at?
Um, I think it was my upbringing. I mean, it sucked. There's no way to sugarcoat it or anything. It sucked and was abusive. I was born. My mother was 17 when she had me, and I was a means to an end. She just wanted to get pregnant so my father would marry her so she could leave the home she was growing up in. And it was just not. There was no love there. There was. Anyway, I made peace with it. It's all good, but that inspired me to do. But through that upbringing, all those beliefs is like you're no good, you'll never amount to anything. I mean, I internalized that,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's just piled on. And at some point, and because it's like I never knew, um, if I would eat, what I would eat, so food had become kind of like a coping mechanism during that time. And whenever there was food, I just shoved it in. I mean, literally until I hurt. So of course, I ballooned up to Mm, 370 some pounds, you know, and then, in the beginning of 2003, it was so bad. I mean, I was in physical, mental pain. I was just done. And I really, contemplated ending my life. I just was done. And, oh, you're gonna get me all choked up again. Seriously, I mean, if it weren't for my kids and my husband, I would not be here today. They were the reason I just like, you know what? I cannot do this. I cannot leave them. My husband was active duty military at the time. And it's just like I just couldn't just quit. And, I'm not a quitter anyway. So, but and it's like that moment when I decided not to end my life, I was like, okay, something has to change. And
Yes.
that at that time I made a decision that year, that spring I actually enrolled in college. I was like, I'm gonna get me a degree, and I was so scared because I mean, we're talking 2003. I graduated the German gymnasium in 2088, spring of '88. So there's a few years in between, right? And
Yes.
so I was scared going back. Plus, it's like born and raised in Germany. At that time, I was still a German citizen. So I was like, and I was going to the University of Maryland, the campus that's on Post, right? But here's my husband, bless his heart. He signed up for my first class, so we went to class together.
Oh,
But that's how it started, and then later that year, I had gastric bypass surgery, because I knew it's like I wanted to stop eating, but at this point, it was like breathing. You just can't stop breathing,
yes.
and, but that is where my journey started when I was like, "Okay," and I first started doing for me, and I started doing a gratitude journal because I watched Oprah one day years before, and she was talking about a gratitude journal. And I was like, "You know what? Something has to change. What do
Right.
I have to lose at this point?" So I started doing the gratitude every day, and it's like and it built from there. And it's
Yes.
just like one thing after another, and in 2018, I stopped shooting all over myself, and then because I was,
Mhm.
like, doing a job and trying this and doing this, but nothing really it wasn't me, so
Yes.
I remember it was April 1st, 2018, I was like, "You know what? I'm done. I'm doing me." I wrote my first book and, literally what they say, the rest is history.
I love that. So,
Thank
okay.
you.
When you answered my next question, what was the turning point? But,
Well, now
I
you
love
know.
that, and I think a lot of that resonates too, like, you get to this point in your life where you just can't keep doing the same thing, right? You have but it's choice too, like, you have to do something different,
Right.
and it's
And I didn't
choice.
know what that would look like. I didn't have that grand vision that someday I will have a business and I will do a podcast and I will have a nonprofit. None of that. At that point it was just really it's like today I don't want to die. That was really it. And then it's like and I blogged about it, about breadcrumbs, because they come all the time. And it's like so you follow the one breadcrumb that leads to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, and before you know it, you're like, whoa, man, there's a whole bakery.
Yes. That is true, right? Um,
Yep.
so what so what are you most passionate about in the work that you do? And you do a lot of things,
I'm
which I love
passionate
that.
about helping people, and I've always done that. Even when I was growing up, when I was little, from a very young age, and didn't matter how miserable I was or how dark it was within me. When somebody else was having a rough time, I always found a way to cheer them up, to let them know it's like, hey, you're not alone. There's a way. There's hope. Da 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 da. I've always done that my whole life. And that just really fuels me. And when I see people look at me and that darkness in their eyes goes away, and then there's like this glimmer of hope, when they're like, oh my God, maybe I can do this. Yes, you can. That fuels me. And it's like all the things that I do, they're just tools to help make that happen, really.
So what was the okay, I'm going off the cuff because it's not on my list, but
That's okay. I like off the cuff.
I know, right? What was the hardest like what was the hardest thing in starting that journey and like believing in yourself, right? What that you could change and you could do something different, right? What was the hardest part of like in your
I
starting your
think the
journey?
hardest part when I started taking care of me and my needs and the things that for me was losing friends or people that I thought were my friends. You know, and of course, it's like you internalize it. That's how we're programmed. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? And I remember sitting with my husband sobbing. I was like, oh my God, I lost all my friends. What's wrong with me? I must be a horrible person. All of those things. That was hard. That was, I mean, in the very beginning, it's like that was hard because it's like you figured your friends you can lean on, and then it's like I lost some friends, but it's like I don't look at it as losing them. Yeah, I have no contact with them, but
Mhm.
it's like, hey, I'm evolving, and anybody who wants to come with me is more than welcome to come with me, but don't expect me to drag you along and pull you along and beg you and plead with you, and it's like, hey, I'm going. You
Yes.
coming? And not okay, I wish you the best, But that took a long time to get there because it's like at every stage, it's like I'm making friends and I lose them.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
until I realized it's like, okay, you're not losing them, you're evolving and they choose not to come with you. It's a whole different way of looking at it. But until that clicked, I think that for me that was the hardest part.
Yes. Well, and then perspective is so important, right? It's
Mhm.
how you look at things because it's not how do I say this? It's not all the same thing. It is really is how we look at it. Because I can look at one thing and see it one way, and then you can look at it and it can be a totally different experience for you, right?
Mhm.
And it just in all how we look at things. So the
Right.
other thing I want to ask, what's like one of the biggest misconceptions or where you feel most misunderstood in the work that you do? And I think this is more about like your QHHT.
Um, I think the misconceptions people just don't know, they don't understand what it is. And it's like once I explain it to them, and one of the gifts that I have, I can explain it in layman's terms, to where it clicks and it makes sense to people. I've always had that. It's like, because one of my things is like, guys, this is really stupid simple. It's not rocket science. I mean, it kind of is, but it isn't, and
Yes.
it's like, but once people understand it, they're like, oh, maybe I wanna do this. Yes, you do.
And do you find people come to you? Do you have people come to you that have no idea what it is, but they just felt like they needed
Yeah,
to do this? I
yeah,
love that.
I have that, and I have some people it's like and they find me a lot of people find me through the main, QHHT official website, Find a Practitioner. That's how they find me, and they're like and I've had a few of my clients are like, "I was curious. I heard about it and I was curious, but I wasn't sure." But then it kept coming up again, and it's like, and I just followed. I said, "Well, good for you for following that."
Yeah.
And I'm happy I can be a tour guide. And I always laugh because I call myself, "Hi, I'm tour guide Barbie," because essentially that's all I do.
Hmm.
It's like I don't lead people.
Yeah.
I show them the map and then we explore together. I pretty much just hold a hand. And I
Yes.
ask questions. So
I love that. So the other thing I want to ask you is so a lot of people don't understand what QHHT is, right? So can you explain that a little bit what that is?
yeah.
Right? Get it? Yeah,
does,
get ready
does
guys. You
it
got
cover it?
your mind's going to be blown right now if you don't already know about QHHT.
So with QHHT, and I can just like really quick explain like a session. So I generally schedule 6 hours for the session. And most of the time people are like, "Oh my god." I'm like, "Calm down. Okay. This is how it structures. It's 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. Okay. If we take the full 6 hours, okay. If we don't, okay. If we take longer, okay. Okay." So, but the first 2 hours, because most of my clients, I don't know them. I don't know them. So I need to get to know you. You need to get to know me. So you can share with me as much as you're comfortable with, but here's the thing, the more information I get, the better we can place it, because when we actually do the 2-hour hypnosis part, we don't know where you land. We don't know what life you're going to visit. So the more I know about you, the better we can put it in perspective, the better questions I can ask, and the more answers you can get. And then also I tell my clients, bring your questions, bring a list, make a list of questions. They're like, well, what kind of questions? Any question. There's no silly question, no dumb question, no too much question, no to this question. No. If it's a question to you, we ask it. And then the healing part also, bring a list of what ails you. It's like medications you're on and everything, because when we call in the SC, the subconscious, it's really the superconscious. It's more than your little subconscious. It's like the all, the everybody else. And when we talk to them, that's where your questions get answered. That's where the healing comes in and everything. At first we explore like a couple past lives, and then I ask them when we call them in, it's like, why of all the lives you could have shown, why did you pick this?
Hmm.
And whatever answer. And what I like is like, I'm not the one answering. You
Yeah.
are. So because it comes through you, so you become a channel, you know, and then the sessions are recorded. So you can listen to it again and again and again. And then the last 2 hours of the session is like for me to make sure that your consciousness is fully reintegrated back in your body. So,
Yes.
because if you ever had it's because I had a hypnosis session, and that's why I was taught that by the SC, you know, is I had a regular hypnosis session, and it's like, okay, by the count of 10 or whatever, and I snap my fingers, you're back into blah, 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 whatever. And then I drove home. I decided on the way home, it's like, oh, my car needs a car wash. So, and I almost shut down the car wash twice
Oh
because
my
I
god.
was not fully reintegrated.
Mhm.
Okay. So I almost shut it down in the beginning, and I almost shut it down again at the end. Of course, that experience is like, oh, I'm back. But this is where they showed me how important it is to make sure that my clients are fully back integrated before I let them drive.
Yes.
So
So so for those that have never heard of QHHT,
it is so cool. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I just want you to give like a little bit of explanation, because it's a session where you go under hypnosis and you explore past lives. Is that correct?
We explore the first we explore past lives, 2 or 3 depending on the time and depending on how many questions you have, because the hypnosis part itself is no more than 2 hours. Okay. It can be a little bit shorter, but it will not go past 2 hours. So I have to gouge a little bit, and it's like, but we also don't know. It's like the first past life you go into, we might stay there for 20, 30 minutes. We might stay there for an hour, depending on what we uncover and what's there, so generally about 2 to 3 past lives, and then from there we go beyond.
Okay.
That's when I call in the superconscious, the SC, the council, whatever you want to call them, your spirit guides, anybody, we call them in, and that is where the healing happens. And I have seen some of my clients, it's like I'm sitting there going like, what? I mean, it's amazing. And but the other thing too is it's like we all have questions. It's like one of the common questions is like, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if somebody, not you, but your higher you and all your higher yous could tell you, and then I usually go like, oh, okay, so how can they go about it? And what, depending on the answer. But I also have happened where they tell us is like, yeah, we're not telling you. Of course, here's me why. Why not?
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
And I've told because it's like the client isn't ready. I was like, okay. And then here's me because the tism brain. What can they do to become ready? So I will go digging. I will go digging, but you will get all your answers, questions answered through that, and then it's like, I bring you back and everything, and then you get to integrate it. And I have so many times, actually, I would say about 99.9% of the time, clients get more downloads either that night when they're sleeping or, days, weeks, months after the session, they get more information or more things become clear, and it's really, yeah, you just get in touch with everything.
Yes.
So,
I love that. I've had a couple of QHHT sessions, before I met you too, and, they're very fascinating. And I was kinda, like, not sh I was kind of unsure about being, going under hypnosis, but in the process of it, like, I was very, aware of everything. Like, I remembered the whole thing. And so I remember laying there thinking, "Am I even hypnotized?"
and
Is this
that's very common. I'm glad you bring that up. I have that happen a lot, and especially as more people wake up and become aware of things, I mean, ideally, of course, you're knocked out. That's ideal because then your consciousness, your Mr. Ego is completely out of the way, and we can just get right to business.
Yes.
But you can also still be fully conscious and understand what's going on. The trick is understanding as soon as you start questioning, as soon as you start wondering, that is
Mhm.
your ego.
Yeah.
You
When I
and you
rem
can you can tell the ego very lovingly to go take a hike.
Yeah. I remember being very, very relaxed and in that kinda, like, trance-like state you get into when you're in hypnosis, and I remember that was, like, at the very beginning, I was
Mhm.
like, "Am I supposed to be conscious?" Like, 'cause I'm remembering everything, and,
Right.
but then once I really kinda, like, sunk into it, like, I still remembered, um, but it was just, like, the visions that I had, the things that I saw, it was amazing and just I don't even know how to explain it, but it brought so much clarity, right?
It
Clarity in
does.
what it was doing, why I
Mhm.
do what I do, because I saw, like, 3 past lives the first time I ever did it, and, and it just brought a lot of things full circle for me, which was really, really
It
great,
puts
and
it, I
then
mean, perspective. It puts a lot of things into perspective. It's like you can understand of things that happen in past lives, that are repeating here again. And that's one of the things that I can ask too. It's like, okay, so that happened, this happened. Why is this repeating? And they will tell us. And then a lot of times it's like, you made a contract, you made an agreement. But a lot of times it's like, a couple of my clients, they made a vow of poverty in past lives. In this life, they're struggling financially. They're always, there's not much, all of that. So my question is like, okay, so did they make a vow in a past life? And the SC is like, well, yes. And I'm like, okay, is it still necessary in this life? Was that not resolved? They're like, no, it was resolved. I'm like, so you will remove it then because it's no longer needed? And they're like, yeah, done. It's fascinating. I love talking to them. And then sometimes you have other entities come through too.
Mhm.
It's like, and I have to share this real quick because it's really important. They want the message to get out. One of my clients, she had a extraterrestrial experience when she was younger, and I forgot the name of the ETs. But then as we were talking, all of a sudden it's like her whole voice, her whole everything changed. It was I love watching this because I'm a nerd, so but I mean her whole everything changed. And then another entity, another race came through, and they were telling us they have a message for us for humanity, and it's like they were coming to Earth to come visit us and all of that. But because of everything that's going on here, they're in a holding pattern. And the way they explained it is like as the human race, we're like on the cusp right now
Mhm.
on the cliff. One half a step forward, we fall off. But it's like it's people like Rachel and myself and all of us doing this work. We're here to help go the other way, so we're not falling off. So they can come visit. But I mean, it just showed us how important our work is that we're doing.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, there's another one.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm a
So
nerd.
what is some feedback that you've gotten from past clients?
The biggest thing is that's like their life makes so much more sense now. So many things that they were questioning, that they were uncertain of. And it's like the question is like, why does this keep happening? I mean, we've all had that question. Why does this keep happening? And it's like they get the answer in a session, and now all of a sudden it's like, okay. And then it's like, and they change the way they look at things, they change their perspectives. They can make different choices. They can look at it and it's like, oh wow. Yeah. That's really the biggest thing. It's like getting that perspective and putting things into perspective,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh wow. And a lot of times when the SC comes through there too, and it's like, yeah, this is why it's happening, but it doesn't have to be. And I always ask, I was like, okay, what can they do? What can my client do to change that, to not repeat that? And,
Yeah.
and and they're pretty forthcoming. What I love about them is that there's no gray zone. It's black and
Mhm.
white. It's not, well, maybe this, maybe that. No, it's like, this is how it is. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it can be life-changing, right?
Oh, very
It's
much so. Very much
yeah.
so. And then one thing I started doing too for my clients, before we say goodbye to them and bring the consciousness back, I always ask is like, is there anybody there who wants to come forward and has a message for my client? And since I started doing this, I had family members come forward. I had past loved ones come forward. I mean, it's just beautiful to see. And they're excited, that they get to talk to their person, and
Yes.
have that message for them, and the healing that comes from it. It's like a lot of times, it's like, it's apologies. I am so sorry. I am so
Yes.
sorry I did this. I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I have chills. And just to see that in my client, that is like, oh, how much they needed that
Mhm.
is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and then that's not much different from well, it's the same as mediumship, right? A lot of times our loved ones, they are there and they want to make amends with us. And so they're just waiting for the opportunity to come through and make those amends. So I
Yeah.
love that. That's really beautiful. Um
Thank you. Yeah,
and
it's
also
it's fascinating.
it is. It is. And I read so like I said, I've had a couple of sessions. I really want to have a session with you because now you got me
Okay.
interested.
Okay.
Um And, but it was just very fascinating, and, I think the first time I was just like my mind was just kinda blown, like, "Whoa, that was a crazy experience," and I still remember all, like, the past lives. The second one I did it was with a different practitioner too, and, that one was really interesting, like, that one could really blew my mind, and I didn't even talk about it for, like it took me a while to even talk about it, like, I didn't even tell anybody because it was just like, "Whoa, what was that?"
Did I mention?
Yes, but it did kinda clarify some of, like, my irrational fears that I've had, and that I didn't understand why I had those, and I'm like, "Okay, that's why." Um, but it can be very life-changing, and, Dolores Cannon's work, she was such an amazing person to bring all of
And
this in.
there's so many different ways to get in touch with that. QHHT is one thing. Regular hypnosis can be another one. It's like what you do is another one.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, well, it's all
and
energy,
nothing
right?
is right or wrong. It's just different.
Yeah, it's all energy. So what does QHHT stand for?
Oh, quantum healing hypnosis technique.
I love that. Okay, because I'm like, I don't know what that even stands for, but I
Yeah,
knew it
it's
was
quantum
quantum
healing
something.
hypnosis technique.
I love that. Okay, so what I wanna ask you next is what is one of the biggest, like, lessons for you, um, that doing this work for others, what is one big lesson that it's taught you? Because and I'm sure it's not different from you, but as a psychic medium, right, when I'm working with clients, I'm learning stuff too, or like I'm healing stuff too. A lot of times people will come to me that have some of the same, like, are going through, sometimes they're going through like the same thing I'm going through at the time. And then I'm like, oh, wow, this is good for me too. So what is one of the biggest lessons, Or what are some things that doing this work has taught you?
Trust. Trust. You knew that was coming. Because, I mean, and it's just like, I sit here, and I'm going like, well, this is happening. And I can sense them, but then there's always this is like, but what if this is just my imagination? Because
Mhm.
that's part of my programming growing up. I was always told it's, oh, you have such a vivid imagination. Like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So I mean, I'm much better now. It's like my trust meter went up drastically just these last few days. So, but that's a different story. But it's like that's what I'm learning is trust. Trust what's coming. Trust what you hear. Trust what you feel. Trust what you sense. And don't poo poo on it.
Yes.
Embrace it. It's like explore it. It's like, oh, interesting. What is that? But yeah,
I love
trust is the biggest lesson for me.
that's huge, right? Because,
Yes.
in the work we do, we can't do that work without trust. We have to trust. We have to. And so it's I don't know, it just
No, it's awesome. And the other thing too is like they always teach me something.
mhm,
Okay. I remember so in August of 25, I overachieved. I broke both my ankles. So I was laying around, because I really couldn't walk anywhere. And but my friend from New Jersey, she had already planned to come visit that Sunday. Well, Friday I broke my ankle, Sunday she came in. So we're laying on my bed together and we're having a good time. And she was like, I want to do QHHT. And at that time I didn't do it online. Now I'm starting to offer it on through Zoom and everything. But at that time I wasn't because I mean I was new to it, you know.
mhm,
And so she came, she goes like, can we do a session? Can we do a session? I was like, absolutely. So we do the session and hear beautiful past lives and everything. And then it's like, may I please talk to her subconscious? No, I mean, not no, just no, but oh hell no. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. And I was like, may I pretty please talk to our subconscious? No. I'm like, so we're done? Yes. Okay. And I brought her back. I was dumbfounded because that
mhm.
never happened to me before,
Yeah.
and I was like, what the heck? So we did a second session because she was here for a few days. So we did a second session like the next day or the day after that. I don't remember. And it's like, again, beautiful past lives. And then I was like, may I please talk to her subconscious? No, that's a different kind of no. Okay. So I started asking, I was like, well, why not? Da 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 da. And then I was talking with them, and then it clicked. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm talking to the SC, aren't I? And they're like, well, yes, you are. So and then we did the whole thing. And then we had a third session before she left. And when I asked, I was like, may I please talk to her subconscious? They're like, of course, you can always talk to us. But I had to learn. What do I do if there's a no?
Mhm.
So now when I mean, not that they give me a no, and they haven't given me a no since then, but sometimes when I ask, it's like, well, will you do that for my client? And the answer is no. Now I know how to ask questions. Now I know how to get around it. Now I know, but I had to learn that lesson, and I just love that. I was like, and it's not just for my clients; it's just as much for me too. So
Yes, exactly. Well, that's good. I think as practitioners, it's something like I think all of us go through kind of stuff like that. Like people come for readings and, they got their wall up so much. And I'm like, are you going to let me in so I can connect with your energy? And they're like, on the outside, they're saying yes. But on the inside, it's like, no, we're not letting you in. And I'll reschedule them. And usually, sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's grief. There's like some kind of energetic block, or sometimes it's just timing and then when they come back again, I'll reschedule them. When they come back again, that's usually when things work out fine. It always goes well the second time. So the other thing I want to ask you is what is some advice you would give to someone who's interested in like doing a QHHT session? Um, like what's some good advice about that?
be curious and be open. You know, and I usually tell people it's like, hey, leave your ego Leave your fears and all of that stuff and your need for control, that's a big one. Leave that at home. We don't need it.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Definitely.
mostly it's like just be curious. Be like this little child, like that's asking like the 5 million why questions, and exploring. And that's really all we do. And just be open.
Nice. Okay,
So
so the other thing I want to ask you is for your matters of perspective for those for that for are those like the QHHT sessions or do you do something different like with that?
that's part of it. So I came up with I call it the quarters method. And for the immersive program, QHHT is part of that, but it's really about helping you get past the blocks, whatever block that is. It can be a one-time thing. I have the Wayfinder sessions, which is a counseling, really, but I
Mhm.
call it wayfinding because we will find a way for you. Actually, I will help you find your own way. I just guide you, and I like the to say that I will help you discover it for yourself, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I do that. That's all part of it. So the immersive one is like an all-inclusive thing, but it's like you can have individual sessions like the wayfinding. Then my friend, she's coaching, she does the coaching, she does tarot card reading and stuff. So, but it's really helping you see a different perspective and get you unblocked so you can move forward and have the life of your dreams, really. Because that's
Yeah.
all it is. It's those mental blocks that we have.
Mhm. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
so and then I want you to tell us about your foundation, your Happiness
Okay,
Matters Foundation.
okay. So, okay, that started out last year. We're talking, I think it was June 2025, right? So I broke my ankles in 24. Anyway, so I was doom scrolling. This is how it started. I was doom scrolling on Facebook and somebody posted, I wish I had the money to pay off people's debt. No questions asked. So of course, here's me curious. Always be curious, by the way. Did I mention that? Always be curious, ask
Mm.
questions. And ChatGPT, I know how some people feel about AI, whatever, you know, he's a phenomenal tool. That's all I can say. So I was on there and I was like, hey, I have a question. What would that look like? And it went into like that collection and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Anyway, so one thing led to another. That was Saturday night. Sunday morning, I registered the foundation here in Colorado. Monday morning, I registered it with the IRS because it's like this. I want to do this. I didn't know exactly what that would entail, but it's like, yeah, the paying of medical debt was one thing. That's on the way back burner. I mean, it's not off the table, but it's like on the way back burner. It has evolved since then, and it's really sparking the hope, bringing the hope back, helping people remember who they are. And with the foundation now, what I want to do is I want to offer the services like what Rachel does, what I do, for free to people who need it. We're talking like the caregivers, the people with can't, the sick people, the broken people, the anybody. Okay. I want to be able to offer that for free. And at the same time, it's like the practitioners right now, as we're starting, I'm asking them to do the in kind.
Mhm.
Eventually, my goal is for the foundations that we bring in enough funding so we can pay our practitioners because my philosophy is in business and anything that I do, if it's not a win win for everybody, we're not doing it.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Mhm.
So and that is what the foundation is growing into. And then of course yesterday morning as I was in the shower, I tell you, my ChatGPT laughed at me. He goes like, "Oh yeah, it started with a thought in the shower, and now we have a whole new ecosystem that we can develop." That's just how it goes,
Nice.
you know. But the thing is like I'm thinking it's like, well, what if we can build like houses that are accessible for everybody, but they don't look like they're still regular houses and all of those things. I was like, oh, so that's a dream down the road.
Yes.
And then it's like getting medical equipment to people in need who need it and partnering with companies, and it's like and just be the middleman, you
Mhm.
know, that's on the docket. That's on the dream list. But for right now, I really want to start bringing in connecting the practitioners and it doesn't matter what it is whether it's energy healing or the mediumship like you do or psychic readings or what I do with the wayfinding and the QHHT and whatever is like whatever people need people need what we offer. People
Yes,
want what we offer, and I just want to be that bridge and connect that.
I
So
love that. And that's
so
I think it's
excited.
so important too.
When can I mention? Because it's my 60th birthday this year.
Oh,
I decided the first 60 members, that donate to the foundation become founding members.
nice.
And the same with the practitioners. The practitioners that come on right now, they'll be founding practitioners.
I
So
love that.
because it's my 60th birthday, and that's my birthday wish. I don't want gifts. I was like, come join the foundation.
I know, I think you get to an age where, like, we already have all the stuff, right? We
I
don't need
know.
any
I was
stuff.
like, I don't need, I'm trying to downsize. I'm trying to get rid of stuff.
Mhm. Exactly.
So
Um,
yeah, but that's my dream. That's my vision.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are a busy woman because now I wanna talk about the Home of Misfits.
I know how that started.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I had the group Happiness Matters, and it's
Mhm,
just like it has like 2,000 some members in it, but it's kind of flat. And then I don't know. One morning I woke up and it's like, you know what? I want to do pod. It was January. So this year has been a roller coaster for me as far as things going like twink, right? In a good way, going up. Right. But I was like, and I did a podcast before and it's like, yeah, it's okay. Beanie Bits. It's like, yeah, it was great. But it's like, and I have the show on YouTube where I had people talk to with, and it's called Happiness Matters, the show.
mhm.
And it was fun. It was good, but I was like, it was kind of like flopping in the wind. There was really no cohesiveness. I mean, there were
Yeah.
great conversations. Don't get me wrong. I was like amazing people, amazing conversations. But then it's like earlier this year, I was like, I want to do podcasting again. I didn't know what. And then all of a sudden I hear Home of Misfits. I was like, what? It's like one of those things like, what? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's how Home of Misfits came to be. And then started the podcast. And it's really talking about, and it's so interesting when people, it's like, oh, I want to be a guest on your show and look how great I am. I was like, yeah, that's nice. I don't care. Sounds awful, but it's how it is.
No, I get
I
it.
don't care about the titles. Home of Misfits is not about pitching your show, pitching your book, pitching whatever it
Mhm.
is you're doing and letting people know how great you are. It is about the messy middle. It's like, who were you before all of that? What did you have to go through to become who you are? What did you feel during that time? What were the setbacks? What were the lessons? Those are the things that Home of Misfits focuses on. And I love it.
I love
I
that.
do. Because it's like there's so many shows out there about, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, and look how great I am. Boring. Sorry. I mean, I'm glad they're out there and it's for the people that want it and everything, but it's like I want to know about you, the person.
Yes, exactly. I love
It's
that.
like you, because
Mhm.
you are important. Not who you've become, not your titles, not all of any of that. I mean, that's important too, but this is not who you are. I want to know who are you. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And like I got to be on your podcast earlier and it was fun. You do a great you're a
Thank
great
you.
host and you ask great
Oh,
questions and
thanks.
like I said, I wasn't even nervous. Like I was very comfortable and it
It's a
flowed really
conversation.
well.
It's like we sit across from each other with a cup of coffee.
Yes. And so it just flowed really well, which was really nice too.
Thanks.
Well,
Squeak.
so let me see. Um So here's a question. So how do you because you work a lot in energy, right? So how do you stay grounded? How do you stay balanced? Like what do you do to stay grounded, balanced and connected? For you cuz you're helping everybody else, right?
Right.
What
hmm
it how do you do this for you?
So one of the things I do, so I don't meditate because the squirrels. Let's just call them what they are. The squirrel. I just don't. So I started doing. I do a couple of things actually. One of the things is called neurographics, and I
Mhm.
can show you real quick. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see that.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Okay. So it starts, and I call it. I mean, this started out with the angry scribble, which is a release. You just like for like 2 3 seconds, you just you know go crazy, and then you draw the lines, and then where the lines intersect, you round the corners, which is,
Okay.
represents your neural network. So, and to me, that's very, very calming, very therapeutic. And I can literally feel whatever that angry scribble was holding, frustration, anger, whatever it is, I can literally feel it dissolving. So that's one thing. The other thing I do is, and I don't really advertise that, it's called Psyche.
Psych.
And that helps me so much.
Mhm.
I forgot what the position is called, but I call it the pretzel position, where you just cross your ankles and then you cross your hands, you like put them together, clasp them like this,
Mhm.
yeah, and you just
Okay.
sit. And then I can literally
Wait.
feel how
Like,
both
just do
sides
it
of I know,
like like
just go
this?
like this. There you go. And then and you can do this if you want to. You can just leave them in your lap and cross your ankles anywhere you want, and then you just sit there and you just breathe into that moment. And I can feel how both sides of my body come into harmony.
I like that. Oh, I'm
Can you
gonna have to
feel
do
that?
that. Yeah, I can feel that. It almost
Right?
feels like I'm giving myself a hug.
You are. In a
Yeah,
sense, you are. So that's what I do, you know.
nice.
And
I
actually
love
I offer a psyche as part of the course immersive
Mhm.
experience. So but I'm not yet ready to offer that on
I love that. Okay, so we're getting running out of time. So, and I could
huh?
probably talk to you all day too. So I'm really excited because we have our every month we have our well, except for last month we didn't do it, but we have our all things spiritual community. We do have a circle, an online circle group, and you're going to be our presenter for this month. And so I'm really
Yay!
excited about that. And it's going to be July 28th. You're going to be presenting, and I don't know what you're going to be talking about yet, but I know it's
Hey,
going to
me
be fun.
neither. Let's all be surprised together. How's that?
Yes, but I know it's gonna be amazing, and,
Thanks.
so if you're a part of our Facebook group, make sure you join us for the All Things Spiritual, circle, because you get to hear, Sabina present on what she does, and I think that's gonna be
On
awesome.
something.
Yes, so before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to talk about or anything you wanna add?
The biggest thing is like, you know, the reminder, especially for those who are struggling or in a dark place right now,
Mhm.
you're still breathing. There's still a spark of hope in you. Let us help you fan that. Let us help you find that. You don't have to stay there. And you don't
No.
have to do it alone. Most of all, here's a really important thing. You don't have to do it alone. You
Yeah,
don't. We're all here to help, to work together and to lift each other up. And that's really the biggest thing. But as long as you're breathing, there's that spark of hope.
yeah. I love that. Well,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm. Thank you
You
so
make
much,
my heart sing.
Sabina. Well,
Life
I
is
think
just good. Life is fun. Life is what you make it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
enjoy it, have
exactly.
fun, be curious, ask questions. And if something doesn't work, it's like, oh, that sucked. I'm not doing that again. You do something else.
Right? I mean, it's all life is all about the experience, right? The
Right.
good and the bad. And it's all temporary too. I think that's sometimes we get stuck on that. Like, we're gonna have our good days and we're gonna have our bad days, but we
Right.
no, we figure it out.
But you don't have to stay there. But I mean, a lot has to do with the conditioning.
Mhm.
It's like the things that we were taught that we took on as truth, as our belief system. It's
Yes,
like start questioning. It's like, is this mine? Is this really what I'm feeling? Or did I adopt this from somewhere? It's a good
exactly.
start.
So the other thing I want to ask you, so how can people connect with you?
Well, you can connect through mattersofperspective.com. That's the main website. Also, the foundation is happinessmattersfoundation.org. Home of Misfits is homeofmisfits.com, but they're all interlinked.
Okay.
So when you go to one, you can find the other one, and then you can find me on Facebook, Sabine Mann, PhD, actually. And then the Home of Misfits group,
Mhm.
we have those, and yeah,
And they can find you on all
there's
spiritual
ways. All things spiritual. There you go. You can find me in there.
spiritual Facebook group and the all things
Well, you
spirit.
can find me on Amazon. My books,
Oh,
beanieman.com.
yes.
BEENIEMANN.com.
Nice. And then also on the allthingsspiritualco.com website as well.
Yep. Like,
Awesome. Well, thank you so
wait,
much for
thank
being
you.
a guest on our show
Thanks for having me.
and I'm super excited to release this and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
Life is good.
everybody. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you all have a great day. And if you want to connect with Sabina, it's you can find her at mattersofperspective.com and all the other links. And I'll make sure to post her links in here too. But thank you guys. Have a great day.
Yay!